The song Gold by the band Jesus Culture from the album Church Volume 1 is a very live feeling song. There is kind of a lot going on and at the same time not. Okay, so what I mean by that is there's a lot of repeats of choruses, a lot of different chord changes. I think there's like 4 choruses in the song. There's 3 different bridges, but they're all really similar. And so I'm thinking that in terms of like playing it, there was probably a lot of signaling like, hey, we're going to go into that again. We're going to go into that again. Okay, we're going to stop. We're going to go to the next section. There's a lot of kind of movement in the song that way. And so what I decided to do is actually teach it more in that way. So rather than kind of breaking down every part, I mean, I do break down the parts, but rather than breaking down, chorus 1, then the second time through, then the third time through, what instead we're going to do is I'm kind of focusing on like, here's the quiet choruses, here's the loud choruses, here are the bridge parts, that sort of thing. And then there's room to play. There's room to build, just kind of hanging on different notes at different times, kind of working the transitions that aren't really mapped out in tabs and kind of in the lesson. They're really more meant for you to kind of feel out the song as you go. So even in the music video, I kind of play around. I kind of keep those main parts that I teach, but then I kind of add in the transitions and add the pieces there. You don't have to do that. You can just go with what's in the lesson and it'll be fine. But I wanted to give you that thought there. The electric guitar is not capoed. The acoustic guitar is capoed on the 3rd fret. So go ahead and tune up, watch the music video, and let's get started. This is such a cool piano riff. We have to get it in there if we're leading this on our own. And there's a couple ways that we can do it. We can go kind of like very similar, like almost exact to what the piano is doing. We can kind of adapt it a little bit more for guitar. So I'm going to actually show you a couple different things that I do when I play around with this song. The first, we're just going to go exactly like the piano, as close as we can get to that riff. It's going to sound like this. Kind of cool little part. Real simple there. You're going to be finger picking. And you're essentially just always kind of just going between that 1st fret of the B and then you're with your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B, and always plucking the open G as well to kind of fill it out. And then you just change your bass notes. You're on your F. So only pluck the bass note on the first one. Then over to throw your G in the bass. Then you have your A. Then when we're here, so we're going to go plucking that high E. Then we're back in. Now, if you're doing that, you want to be dynamic, just like a piano is dynamic. So kind of swelling high. What we don't want is, too aggressive. We don't want to kind of swell into it. You can also hammer. The other thing is you can kind of pick through it and do something like this. And what that is, just kind of hammering, kind of combining those. So hammering. So hammering. Same thing on the G. Into the open A. And then that one, rather than, it's hard to kind of get that all in and make it fit. So you can kind of just jump between the two. Kind of some fun ways that you can do that to kind of break up, and if you want, you can kind of like start with the real straightforward stuff, on verse 1, and then maybe coming out of, maybe use, this for verse 2. It's kind of cool stuff that you can play around with. Have fun.